everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing you a hopefully very useful video for those of you studying A-level maths. Basically going to be running through a few mistakes to avoid, how to revise, literally the complete rundown. When I was doing maths A-level last year and the year before, obviously, I felt a bit alone because there was no other study YouTubers who were doing maths, who were doing the same course as me. I was the first year to take the new EDEXCEL course, so there was literally nobody to look to for advice. So yeah, I literally was on my own. It was not a fun time and I really struggled with it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go into more detail about that later. But yeah, hopefully to all of you guys who are studying the new A-level maths course, this will be helpful. Yeah, I'm just kind of gonna give you a little background overview kind of thing, and I've got my notes on my phone as usual, so if I'm looking down at that, that's what I'm doing basically. So I did the EDEXCEL course and I got an 8 in my GCSE with a lot of hard work, bearing in mind, and then I got an A in my A-level also with a lot of hard work, which I'm going to be going into depth with. I get maths, I'm good at maths, but I'm not naturally a mathematician. Like, you look at the boys who do A-level maths, A-level further maths, computer science and physics, that's a natural mathematician. That's not me. I did psychology and history. I was good at maths, I always got it during GCSE, that was fine for me, but I'm not a natural mathematician, so I did naturally struggle a lot more with A-levels, and basically my grade is because I worked hard, and it's also, to be fair, because the grade boundaries were super low because EDEXCEL messed up the papers, basically my revision work. And there's a lot of mistakes that I made during the year that you guys could avoid. Obviously my experience is my experience, yours will be completely different, you know, different teachers, different timetable, different everything, different ability. So I'm just going to basically talk to you about how I revise personally. If you're doing A-level maths, if you're like me, if you're good at maths but not a natural mathematician, you will definitely find it really difficult in places. That's something that you've just got to accept. It is really hard, especially for me. I found integration in year 13 awful, hated it, despised it. You've still got to do it on your exam. Right, my number one piece of advice, a mistake that I made many times: if you walk away from a lesson not understanding something, make it your mission that night to sit down and work out how the hell you do whatever it is that's confused you, or even don't let yourself walk out of that lesson not understanding it. So never feel embarrassed to put up your hand and say, "Miss, I don't get it, sir, I don't get it. Please can you know, explain that again or confirm this," or whatever. Nobody is going to judge you. They're probably just as confused as you. If not, why would you care anyway what they think of you? It's your education at the end of the day. You want to be there and you want to be being proactive and making the effort to understand it there and then. If you still walk out the lesson not understanding a concept, that is fine, as long as you don't just leave it. So write down what it is that you didn't understand, the topic, the chapter, whatever, and make it that evening's mission to go sit down and work out why you didn't understand it. You know, if you've got other stuff doing, fine, do that as well, but do not leave it. Do not make any excuses to not get it in that moment, because it will all build up and you'll feel so overwhelmed by the time, you know, mocks or actual exams roll around, because you'll have so much that you don't get, so much consolidation and learning that you have to do. And obviously maths builds on top of the last lesson, so if you didn't understand the last lesson, you're not going to understand the lesson after it. You're going to be confused about that and you're just giving yourself more work in the long run. So make sure you go and understand it afterwards, and I'm going to go through like how you can do that a bit later on, so don't worry about that for now. Don't leave stuff that you don't get. It's just so stupid and it's really easy. I did it many times, and I mean, to be realistically, you probably will end up doing it, but try not to do it. So if you need to, just completely go back to basics with that topic, and like, you know, rebuild the foundation and work up from there. You might have missed something vital, which isn't why you're not getting it. You know, there's so many reasons why you could not be getting it. So just, if you have to, go back to basics and start from the beginning to the point where you're at, and it will be so much better. Also, make use of your teachers. You know, if there's a question that you're doing or a question you did in that lesson that you didn't get, and you've gone home, you tried to work on it and you still didn't get it, bring the question to the teacher and say, "Sir, miss, etc., I didn't understand this topic. This is, you know, a question. Could you help explain how to do this question?" And, you know, if there's stuff in that question that you don't understand, you can ask them to go into more detail, explain the topic a bit more, and hopefully that will help you. Also, maths moves super fast, especially in my class. We went through the content so fast, and you know, as I said, as someone who's not naturally a mathematician, that was really hard for me, especially because the teacher was extremely intelligent. I just like couldn't keep up sometimes. So if it's going too fast, just make sure that you're consolidating the work after every lesson. Otherwise it goes by so fast and it's just, the whole topic is a blur and you can't see all the individual sections and it gets really confusing really easily. Alright, this is also very important. Make sure you buy the textbook. I've actually not got mine anymore. I gave them to my friend who's doing the same course as me, but I will link them down in the description, and if I forget, please remind me, because I do want to put them in, and I'll put them on the screen as well. But if you're doing the EDEXCEL maths course, they're so essential. Basically, what I found useful about them was I could track as I went through the topics, like tick them off as we went, basically like a checklist, so I could make sure, one, that I was understanding everything, and if there was a topic I didn't get, I would star it and make sure that I made time to go back to it. And also, if, you know, some teachers just don't do certain topics for whatever reason, so you need to know, like, you know, if something's been missed in class, you need to do it yourself. And as I said, if there's a topic that you don't get, if you've got the textbook, you can read the little overview of the topic. Sometimes they weren't that great, I'm not gonna lie, but there was examples which I sometimes find useful, just so you could track through how the question works, and then you can do the exercises on it and then mark it. So that was also super useful. Make sure you invest in the textbook. I know they're a bit expensive, but I think they're much cheaper on Amazon. But if there's intervention lessons on, make sure you go to as many as you possibly can. Most of the time it was like on a Monday, after I'd had 2 maths lessons already and a full day of lessons, and I literally did not want to go, but honestly it's so worth going, because everybody there hopefully will be in the mindset that they're like, okay, I need to get some extra time in, I need to understand this topic, etc. If it's like an actual lesson that's being taught by a teacher, that's especially useful because that's extra teaching time. If you're going to one that's taught by a different teacher who doesn't teach you, that actually might be super useful for you. Like, different maths teachers always seem to have different methods for different things and can be confusing, but also if their method works better for you, that might actually really help you. I found that when I started going to intervention, it was with a different teacher. His methods, some of them just made much more sense, and his teaching method worked with me a little bit better, so I felt like my confidence increased a lot after doing that. How to actually revise: basically all you can do to revise is practice. Once you understand the concepts, which should be happening throughout the year, obviously in maths there are a few things that you do need to learn, so like your proofs for like the equation for a series, trig equations, you know, but other than that, just practice. There's so many ways you can practice. My favourite website was Exam Solutions. Basically, he was good for learning stuff originally as well that I hadn't understood in the first place. But there's the dude on there, he speaks really slowly, so you have to speed him up to like 2 times. But he goes through like every topic from the scratch to the hard bits, and he does exam questions and walks you through them, so you can do the question and then watch him work it out, make sure that you got it right. I literally taught myself all of integration using him, and that's how I got better at it. Game changer. By the end of it, I literally was doing the question and skipping to the end of the video where he worked it out just to check that I got it right. I didn't even watch him working it out. Definitely have a look at that. I will link it down below. He explains everything in a lot of detail, makes it all make sense, and he explains the foundations and the principles of it as well, so that it all is logical. You're not just, you know, trusting that something is right and going with it. Like, you actually know why it's right. And I found a website called Crash Maths, which has loads of exam papers, and it's made by the people who made the website, so they're not like official exam papers, but the questions are very similar. We had 0 past exam papers to look at. We only had a couple specimen papers, so having something like that was really useful, and there's all the mark schemes and stuff. We only had like 3 papers online that we could use because they weren't all made, but hopefully a lot more have been made since now. Once again, I'll link that down below. Really useful for papers. Also, this isn't on here, but I've just remembered there's a website called Maths Genie, which super useful for just going through little topics. If you've got like a topic test, or there's just one topic that you want to go over again, videos on the topic, and then there's exam questions and work solutions. The exam questions are pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie, but if you just want to get practice in that topic before you move on to harder exam questions, just to build your confidence, that is quite useful. CGP revision guides were really useful. I went through my CGP revision guide like the day before my stats and mechanics exam, and just went through, like, I read a whole page of information and did all the questions to check that I'd understood it. moved on to the next one, it was basically just like quick fire last minute revision. I remember doing the exam the next day and I was like, you know what, if I hadn't done that revision yesterday, I wouldn't have got that mark there. There was a random niche fact that I didn't know and I wouldn't have known had I not looked at the revision guides. Revision guides are definitely worth investing in, but I think the textbooks would be more important. And if you have got time, I would recommend like properly going through the textbook, because it does show you lots of different examples of all the different types of questions you could get, which the textbook doesn't do as well, I don't think. Also, I had a CGP workbook. Once again, I don't have any of these with me because I gave them to my friend. That was good, but I didn't use it loads, to be honest. But they have questions for like all the topics, so if you're like, one of my weaker topics is say circles and my mocks tomorrow, just want to do some circles questions just to make sure that I've brushed it all up as much as I can, you can just do a couple questions on circles. And physics and maths tutor, I personally wouldn't recommend. I literally didn't use it. All the questions on there when I last looked were for the old spec, so sometimes it can be a bit confusing because there's some questions on there where you obviously wouldn't have been asked, and if you don't realise that, you can confuse yourself and stress yourself out over something that you don't even need to know. So, and very important, don't give up. It's really hard. There was many points where I literally wanted to give up. I had an unconditional offer from UEA and I remember in March I was like, literally don't get this, I'm gonna fail maths, I should just stop trying, take my unconditional, then it doesn't matter. That was a sad day. But don't give up with maths. It may feel like you're literally gonna fail, but you're not. You keep working and you believe in yourself. If something's hard, instead of saying I can't do it, go and work out how to do it. This is important as well. Make sure you revisit old topics throughout the year. If you have any questions about maths as well, please comment them down below, because I can guarantee you I've not covered everything in this video, and I'll try my best to answer you to the best of my ability, because obviously I'm an experienced gal. If you also have any advice for maths yourself, please let us know down below. We can just start a little discussion, little supportive place for everyone who's struggling through A-level maths. It's hard, but we can do it. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful, and I'll see you soon for a brand new video. Bye!